Welcome to this deep dive into the world of artificial intelligence. Today, we're exploring a fascinating development on the horizon, Google Stitch.
That's right. Imagine a tool that could really speed up how we design and maybe even start coding. User interfaces. That's the core promise here.
And it's definitely got people talking. The buzz seemed to start around, what, May 20th, 2025?
Yeah, somewhere around then.
Yeah.
And it's relevant if you're in design, development, or just interested in where AI is heading.
Absolutely. So what is Google Stitch, really? And why should you, listening now, be paying attention? Our goal today is, well, to get past the hype.
We want to understand its nuts and bolts, what it can actually do.
And dig into the potential impact, right? How could this kind of AI tool change how we build digital stuff?
Exactly. We're looking at something sitting right at the intersection of AI and design, specifically UI/UX design.
And it uses Google's big guns, AI-wise.
It does. It's powered by their latest models, Gemini 2.5 Pro, which is good for complex stuff, and also the faster Flash model for quicker responses.
Okay, AI designing interfaces still sounds a little futuristic. What's the core concept making it tick?
Well, think about all the upfront work in app or web design. Sketches, wireframes, then turning that into designs, then code. It takes time.
A lot of time.
Right. Stitch aims to just compress that massively. The idea is you give it simple inputs like just describe what you want in English or even upload a rough drawing,
And it spits out.
a polished UI layout,
Yeah.
and crucially, even some starter front-end code. In minutes, potentially. It's like rapid prototyping boosted by some serious AI.
Minutes. Okay, that is a big shift. Let's get specific. One key thing is text-to-UI generation. How's that work in practice?
So imagine you're thinking about a mobile app. Instead of drawing boxes, you could just tell Stitch something like, create a mobile app homepage, dark theme, top nav bar, a profile card, and a floating action button, bottom right.
And it just builds it.
It interprets that and generates the UI based on your description.
Wow. Could I give it something vaguer, like design an app for marathon runners?
You could try that. Yeah, or you can get super specific colors, fonts, exact elements, you name it.
Okay.
And what's quite interesting is this idea of setting the vibe. You can use adjectives, like for that marathon app, you could say you want it vibrant and encouraging.
Huh. So it tries to capture the feel, too, not just the layout.
Exactly. It influences the design choices, maybe brighter colors, more dynamic layouts, that kind of thing.
That's cool. But important note, it's English-only prompts for now, right?
Correct. English only at the moment.
Okay. Now, what if I do have sketches? Like I've already drawn something out. That's the image to UI part.
Yes, and this is where it gets potentially really powerful.
Yeah.
You can take your, napkin sketches, rough wireframes, maybe even a screenshot you like, upload it, and then ask Stitch to turn it into a proper digital UI. So upload a sketch of a login screen and say, make this a clean, dark-themed login page with our logo.
And it can understand my terrible drawing.
Well, it's designed to try. It automatically interprets the visual input, looking for common wireframe patterns and translating them into UI components.
Okay.
And it can layer on styles, too. So take a basic wireframe, tell it the style you want, and it applies themes. It really tries to bridge that gap from idea to early prototype.
Yeah, I can see that being super useful for just getting ideas down fast. But design is iterative, right? I want to tweak things, try options. How does Stitch handle that?
That's where its speed is meant to shine. You can explore different options really quickly. Like, you can literally ask for multiple variants.
Oh, okay.
For example, generate 3 alternate layouts for this product page, maybe with different accent colors or image placements. Lets you compare ideas side by side fast.
Getting multiple options instantly. Yeah, that saves a ton of design exploration time.
Definitely. And it's not just a one-shot deal. It has this interactive chat mode. So once you have a base design, you use text commands to tweak it. Simple things. Add a search bar to the header. Or make the main button bigger and green. The trick seems to be keeping prompts focused, like one main change per message. Treat it like a conversation.
One change at a time. Got it.
Yeah.
That makes sense for guiding an AI. What about the overall look? Colors, fonts, that stuff.
Yep, you have control there too. You can make direct requests, change the primary color to forest green. Or more thematic ones, update the theme to a warm, inviting palette. There are also these theme selectors for picking predefined styles. And again, mentioning a mood minimalist, corporate, playful, that influences the overall look and feel.
So decent control over the aesthetics. Now the big question for designers, Figma. How does this play with the tools they already use?
Yeah, crucial point. Stitch has a paste to Figma feature. So you generate something in Stitch you like.
Oh.
Basically copy it, switch to Figma, and paste. And the cool part is, it's not just pasting an image. The colors, spacing, components, they become actual editable Figma objects. Designers can then take that AI output and work with it in their normal workflow, apply design systems, refine details.
Ah, okay. So it's not a closed box. You can take the output and run with it in Figma. That's smart.
Very smart. It makes it much more practical.
Now, for the developers listening, look,
Yeah.
you mentioned code generation. This sounds like a big one.
It really is. Probably a key differentiator. It doesn't just give you the picture, it generates actual, clean, semantic HTML and CSS.
Semantic HTML.
Yeah, meaning it uses tags correctly to describe the content structure. Good for accessibility, good for SEO. So when you prompt a UI, you get the visual and the starting code to build it.
Real, usable code for things like buttons, forms.
Exactly. Standard components usually get standard web markup. So you can, in theory, take that code and drop it into a web project or a web view pretty quickly. You can preview the code in Stitch or export it.
That could seriously speed up front-end work. Wow. Okay, so we've got text to UI, image to UI, iteration via chat. What else? This chat interface sounds central.
It is. It's meant to be this ongoing dialogue. After an initial generation, you might say, make the top nav dark mode style, or add an icon to the sign-up button. It simulates that back-and-forth design session.
Like collaborating with an AI assistant.
And pretty much, yeah.
Okay. And platform support. Is it web-focused, mobile, or?
It aims to be platform agnostic, covering both desktop web and mobile apps. In your initial prompt, you can specify which you're targeting, like mobile app screen or desktop website.
And it adjusts the layout accordingly.
That's the goal. It understands the different constraints and patterns.
But there's a catch.
The current catch is that it handles them one at a time.
Yeah.
You ask for mobile, you get mobile. Ask for desktop, you get desktop. It doesn't currently generate a single, fully responsive design that works perfectly on both in one go.
Ah, okay. So no magic responsive layouts yet. Makes sense for an early tool. So we know what it does, where does it live, and how does it fit into the Google picture?
It's part of Google Apps. Stitch.withgoogle.com is the place to look. You need a Google login, so it's tied into their ecosystem.
Right.
And yeah, running on those Gemini 2.5 Pro and Flash models we mentioned.
And that Figma integration feels absolutely key for adoption by designers.
Totally. That paste to Figma is probably make or break for many design teams. Beyond Figma, while there aren't direct plugins for, say, Android Studio or Flutter yet, the HTML CSS output can be used. You could put it in a web view in an Android app or use it as a base to manually create Flutter or compose components. Requires some adaptation, though.
Got it. So flexible output, even without specific plugins everywhere. What about Google's own design language, material design? Does Stitch use that?
Interesting point. You can't explicitly select material design as a style option, but because the AI models were trained on so much data, including Google's own designs and countless web examples, the output often looks quite material-like. Clean, modern, familiar patterns.
So it leans that way naturally.
It often does, yeah. Developers can then take the generated code and specifically apply material components or themes if they need strict adherence, sort of influenced by it through the training data.
Okay, that makes sense. Now it's new, it's experimental. Let's talk limitations. What are the current hurdles?
Right. Important to set expectations. First, as we said, prompts are English only for now. Second, it generates static UIs. The visuals, the code structure, yes. The actual app logic, dynamic behavior, back-end connections, no. That's all still manual coding.
So it gives you the shell, but you have to wire it up.
Exactly. And code-wise, it's currently HTML and CSS. No direct native Android OS code, no React or Flutter components out of the box.
So for mobile apps, it's either web view or manual translation of the design?
Pretty much, yeah. That's a key thing for mobile devs to know.
Any other big limitations right now?
Well, you can't import existing designs. No uploading a Figma file and asking Stitch to modify it. You start fresh with a prompt or an image each time.
Ah, okay. No round tripping yet.
Not yet. And the mobile desktop thing, generating them separately, not fully responsive together.
And being a labs project, stability, performance.
Yeah, expect some beta quirks. It might be slow sometimes, maybe timeouts during busy periods. The interface itself could change. And some hinted features, like editing via screenshot annotation, are still coming soon.
Okay, so powerful, but definitely still evolving. Knowing that, what are the best ways to actually work with it effectively, given these limitations?
Good question. Definitely lean into that interactive chat. For small incremental changes, be specific. 1 or 2 clear tweaks per prompt works best.
Right.
Use those descriptive adjectives for the vibe, maybe even put examples in your prompt text. Use buttons like in this screenshot, perhaps, although direct image editing isn't there yet.
And that Figma export sounds like the go-to for polishing and consistency.
Absolutely. Get the basic structure from Stitch, then jump into Figma to apply your design system, pixel push, ensure it matches other screens, treat the Stitch output as a strong starting point.
And for developers, the code is a template.
Exactly. Take the HTML and CSS, refine it in your IDE, adapt it if needed, like for mobile web views, and then build the actual functionality around it.
What about complex apps?
Break it down. Generate one screen or one major component at a time. Stitch doesn't really maintain memory across completely separate prompts about different screens.
Okay.
And if you don't like the first result, tweak the prompt, try again. Maybe switch between the Gemini Pro and Flash models to see if one gives a better result. And definitely use that generate multiple variants feature.
It sounds like managing expectations is key here.
Definitely. Think of it as a super fast prototyper and idea generator. It gets you that first 70–80% maybe, visually and code-wise. But expect to do some polishing yourself. Don't expect final production-ready perfection instantly.
Got it. Use it for its strength, speed, ideation, initial code, and plan for refinement. Okay, let's make this concrete. Can we run through a couple of example prompts?
Sure. Take the marathon app idea again. A broad prompt like an app for marathon runners will give you something probably generic.
Right.
But compare that to a mobile app for marathon runners to find local running groups, track training progress with charts, and see upcoming races. Much more specific. Likely a much better starting point from the AI.
Makes sense. More detail in, better detail out. What about refining a screen it already made?
Okay, say it gave you a profile screen. You could then chat under the name, add a badge with their PB time, or change the training stats section to use bar charts, not a list. Simple, clear instructions.
And changing colors.
Easy. Update the color scheme to dark mode with bright orange accents. Straightforward.
And the image to UI. Quick example.
You sketch a product page layout on paper, snap a photo, upload it, prompt. Convert this wireframe into a clean e-commerce product page with a big image gallery, description, reviews, and an add to cart button. Stitch tries to build that digitally from your sketch.
That's pretty cool. And the variants for A/B testing.
Yeah, like generate 3 versions of the sign-up flow, try different button placements or maybe a different heading style on each. Lets you see options really quickly before committing design time.
These examples really show the potential. Okay, stepping back again. What are the bigger picture strategic implications here? What does Stitch tell us about where AI is going in development?
Well, it's a clear move towards what people are calling generative design, or even vibe coding. Using AI not just to analyze, but to create design options. It shows Google deploying advanced AI like Gemini into practical tools. And its focus is interesting, specifically that design to development handoff, making that faster, smoother.
So it's augmenting designers and developers, not replacing them.
That seems to be the angle, yes. An AI assistant to boost creativity and efficiency in those early stages.
And making it free, even with limits, helps get it out there.
Exactly. Wide adoption, lots of feedback for Google to improve it, and they've hinted at more intuitive features coming, like that screenshot annotation editing.
Right, that sounds potentially game-changing for iteration.
It really does. The whole trend feels like augmented intelligence for creative fields. AI handles the initial grunt work, humans focus on strategy, complex problems, user experience nuances.
And you could see it connecting with other AI tools down the line, like AI for code debugging, maybe?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Building out a whole AI-assisted development ecosystem, it feels like the beginning of something significant in how we build software.
Definitely feels that way. Okay, so to wrap up this deep dive, what are the main takeaways on Google Stitch for everyone listening?
I'd say Google Stitch is a really exciting look at how AI can speed up UI design and initial front-end coding. It makes those early stages faster, maybe more accessible. If you're interested in AI and creative work, it's one to watch.
Gives you a way to visualize ideas and get starter code quickly, even without deep design or coding skills.
Precisely. But for now, remember, it's experimental. It's evolving.
Right. Know the limitations, use the chat for iteration, use Figma for polishing.
Exactly. Understand where it fits, experiment with prompts, see how it helps your process.
This has been super insightful. It really does feel like a potential shift in UI/UX workflows is starting. What aspects of this AI-powered design future excite you the most? What would you try building with Stitch? We'd genuinely love to hear your thoughts.
And for more deep dives into AI tools and concepts like this one, definitely subscribe so you catch our future discussions.
And hey, if you want visual tutorials or more practical AI insights, feel free to check out my YouTube channel, Ian Ochieng AI. That's Ochieng. Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive into Google Stitch.